exactly what happened. As he was finishing his first lap this morning, he came, there we see the video right now. As he was finishing his first lap in Heat 1B this morning, he caught a little air. Look at that. And the boat got airborne, but it landed right side up, thank goodness. And Scotty Pierce was not seriously injured.
Well, he said, amazingly enough, he wasn't going that fast. Of course, he was coming around the turn. The water conditions, because of the wind, were not that good at that point. So he really wasn't going that fast when it happened. This is another angle from down from the pits, and you can see he lands violently. The boat ended up right side up. Scotty Pierce popped the top of his canopy, got up, and walked essentially away. He did hurt his knee, but otherwise, Scott Pierce lived.
Pringles boat. I was just going fast enough to stay ahead of Mike, and Tracy, my crewman, said, you know, everything's fine, and it was real rough. I mean, real rough down the back chute, and a lot of wind blowing through the corner. And I went through the corner, and I saw the rollers running through there, so I straightened the boat up to hit them parallel, and straightened the thing up coming off the corner, and the next thing, I mean, it's just flying through the air. It's the craziest thing I'd ever seen.
How do you feel?
Well, like, evidently I've torn the ligaments now, so I have substantial more damage to the knee than what I really need at this point, but I'll get to the orthopedic surgeon. And
Scott Pierce injured that knee. Of course, he'd already injured that knee earlier this year. He'd also had some ankle problems, so he was one beat-up individual, as was his boat. But fortunately, again, he walked away from that accident. Another near miss today.
Circus Circus was the one, and they were out this morning during testing about 9:30 this morning. And he just about nearly went over. It was, let's take a look at that video if we might, and we'll show you how the Circus Circus just about flipped their boat this morning. Chip Hanauer went over 2 weeks ago. It was his first rollover ever. Well, he does it nearly again here this morning. As he comes in, boom, he loses the steering right here, Jim.
Funnily enough, a couple of years ago when he was driving the Miller boat, he did the same thing on a 153-mile-an-hour lap where he just lost the rudder. You completely lose the steering. You essentially have no control over the boat, and that's what happened to Chip today. As you see, it veers sharply into the left. A lot of people thought he was just cutting across the infield, but as he was coming in, he essentially, you see, veered sharply back to the right, and he was very, very lucky that he didn't blow it over. I asked Chip afterwards, talking to him about that, comparing this spill to the one he had a few weeks ago.
The same thing happened, and you just lost total control. That one, certainly not like this one.
Actually, this one was worse. Even though I wasn't going as fast, the boat was just much more violent. It kept going to the left, and it got up on its side. It was a real roller coaster.
How fast were you going?
About 180, 185. First, it stayed into the water pretty good and kept hitting, and every time it hit, I started feeling a little better because I thought that would drag the speed down. But then all of a sudden, it went up in the air again, and the last two hits got the boat up in the air higher than it was at the beginning.
Another one of those act of gods that it didn't go over, just like that last one.
Yeah, you know, when you have no steering, it's up to somebody besides myself, and I just had to hang on.
Chip Hanauer's boat sustained severe damage. Of course, they've had rudder problems all week long. He says they will get back to Seattle and hopefully get that thing all fixed up so they can run in time for Seattle.
The Miss Mazda up the back chute in second place. It is the Pietro's Pizza, and the Miss Tri-Cities is now in the third spot, but it's 1 and 2 for the Mazda and the Pietro's Pizza as the Miss Rock is dead in the water. And up the upper turn they go. We'll have lap number 1 pretty soon to be completed. So we'll give you the times. On the inside is Pietro's Pizza. Miss Mazda on the outside. In third spot is the Miss Tri-Cities. Here they come on the inside. On the outside, the Mazda boat is going to take over lap number 1. And leading after lap number 1, Miss Mazda with a time of 1:10, 1:08 for the other boat in there, the Pietro's Pizza. Frank.
It's a great horse race right now. Mazda on the outside. Hansen has Steve David right now, who's on the inside of him, and it's Mazda who gets him generally in the straightaways. Don.
And they've got to come not only around the apex buoy, but the Miss Rock, which is dead in the water at the lower part of the turn. Miss Mazda is out in front, but he can't afford to let off because the Pietro's Pizza is right behind him with Steve David at the controls.
And up the back chute they go, Don, but he has cut back some. In fact, the lead is even stronger now for Miss Mazda, the U6. Mike Hansen qualified at 130.909 miles per hour. Second place boat is a Pietro's Pizza. Steve David driving, and the Miss Tri-Cities and Ron Snyder settling for third, with two boats having gone dead in the water. One did not start. Mr. Pringle already had trouble, but the U.S. West Cellular did not start. Miss Rock went dead in the lower turn. Here they come, the second lap. The time on the second lap is 114 for the Miss Mazda, and the time for the Pietro's boat on the second lap is 100 miles even, Frank.
It's no boat race now. It is Hansen out in front, and he is cruising and looking good to Don.
That 114-mile-an-hour lap is real competitive with the first heat, and Mike Hansen's got her going the way he wants it. Wide lead now over the field, and he's way out in front.
To the first turn, how does the Miss Tri-Cities look, Frank?
And he looks pretty good. Ron Snyder, if he can keep it going, will get his 225 points.
And a third place finish of 225 would be great. He's had that already once in Detroit.
Yeah, Ron's looking fine. He is not pushing it. I think, again, he's going to try to save the equipment and finish with a third place here and get those points on the board.
They're all spread out now. It's in first place, the U.S. or the Miss Mazda at 130 qualifying, and in this third lap will give you the time on the third lap as it goes by the official area, 111.368 miles per hour. Here it comes to you, Frank, the winner so far.
And if he can just keep it going, and that's it is probably the best piston boat ever built. At least to this stage, it is the fastest, and Mike Hansen has it going well as he clears.
Okay, the Pietro's Pizza just goes by, and it's a 99.902, 146, U146, and Steve David. Here comes the Miss Tri-Cities with a lap of 95. Frank?
Yes, and they're really having to, the Miss Rock, which was on the inside of the course when it went dead, has floated right into the middle of the turn. I saw the Mazda took him on the inside, and now the Pietros took him on the outside, and let's see where Ron Snyder takes him. Looks like the inside, Don.
Yeah, he's floated down river long enough now, so he's cleared a lane out there, and if the guys really want to get in tight on the buoy, they got a little room there to play with. But when he first went dead, they were forced around him, and that elongated the course for them by some yards.
Okay, and lap number 4, the lead boat, and it's the U6, the Miss Mazda, 110.344 miles per hour. Frank?
Yes, and he looks good, and this would be a big win for him, even though it's through attrition. 400 points is 400 points, Don.
Well, I'll tell you, attrition is one of the better things a guy can win through. Mike Hansen, a beautiful, beautiful boat, and one that's a surprise to us, and as you said, maybe the best piston-driven boat built, and he is well on his way to a Heat 1B win today.
And the second place boat at a time, the Pietro's boat, Pietro's Pizza 97.706, and the Miss Tri-Cities of 97 in the fourth lap. They're in their final lap. They'll be getting the checkered flag as they come around and up in the upper turn to get the checkered flag. On the fifth lap is the Miss Mazda, Mike Hansen. 400 points is what he'll get if he can finish as he comes through the west turn. The flag goes up. He cuts way back in power as he comes by the official area, and there's the checkered flag for the Miss Mazda with a time of 113.332. 400 points for Mike Hansen and the Miss Mazda.
Well, that's a good win for the Mazda camp. They are always competitive here. They come to race. They are not always in with the big guys, but every now and then, like Frank mentioned, attrition does funny things to a draw. And Mike and his crew.
Okay, here we get the time on the second place boat, the Pietro's Pizza, and Steve David with a time of 101.738 miles per hour. 300 points for Pietro's Pizza. And the Miss Tri-Cities will now be coming by our official areas. Everybody else was taking an extra lap to kind of cool down their engine a little bit, and a time for the Miss Tri-Cities of 98.508. So the Miss Tri-Cities, 97, 95, 95, 97, and 98. Very respectable, and 225 points as we had in this heat. Scott Pierce and Mr. Pringle never did make it in from the accident that stopped Heat 1B earlier. The U.S. West Cellular never made it away from the dock, and the Miss Rock, Jack Berry, went dead in the water. So we have just 3 boats that finished, with one of them going dead and another.
This sleek little runabout is part of the Budweiser camp, and its owner and driver, Bernie Little, are going to take us for a little spin around the Columbia Cup course. Now, the boat is 29 feet long and sports a 1,300 horsepower jet engine. So join us as we take the back seat as Bernie Little winds up his jet engine and takes us for a real fast ride around the course.
Yeah, the Budweiser is way down. It is pushing a lot of water around, but he will probably, he's on the inside, right hugging that buoy, so I don't think he's going to be stripped out of there.
But how slow is he going?
Well, he is going awfully slow, but he's going to have to stomp on it here pretty quick, because we're getting down to less than 15 seconds, about 15 seconds. Now he's stomping on it. He knows where he is on this. He's on the inside, hugging the buoys on the upper turn, swinging way wide. 3 of the boats, the Eagles in the middle, the Winston Eagles in the middle, and here comes the Budweiser on the inside. In the lead, the Budweiser.
He knew exactly what he was doing, and he is hitting those buoys. They go by in lane 1. Now the Eagle comes from third and is screaming into second in lane 3 with a boat between them, and it's the Budweiser by half a rooster tails. They head to turn 2.
Budweiser on the inside, Winston Eagle on the outside, and Tom Deeth puts his foot in it and heads it up the back chute off the exit pin. Here's Larry Lauterbach in that orange boat pushing him, but about 12 boat lengths behind.
It is Snyder back in third.
Ron Snyder in third spot in the Miss U.S. But up the backstretch they go. Budweiser coming to the west turn.
Something has fallen off the rock boat. Something has fallen off the Miss Rock.
Okay.
On the backstretch.
On the backstretch, okay. We'll have to place the boats. Now in fourth place is the Miss Tri-Cities and Ron Snyder. In third place, we have the Pietros. So here they come. We'll give you the times on lap number 1, Frank. It's the Budweiser with a time of 131.195, and the time for the Winston Eagle to Frank right now 118.655.
Well, that's a new course record for a 2-mile course here, 131 miles an hour in competition. The old record 129, and it looks like Winston is settling for second as Budweiser heads to Don.
Oh yeah, just beautiful turn as he gave the lower buoy just a little bit of space and just eased it onto the backstretch and away he went. Tom Deeth couldn't be better in the Budweiser.
Okay, in fourth spot, still Miss Tri-Cities up the back chute. It's Budweiser, and it is the Winston Eagle, followed in third spot by the Pietro's Pizza, and in fourth spot, the Miss Tri-Cities, and in fifth, Miss Rock. So there you have, on lap number 1, the exact position that they are, and falling back is the Winston Eagle. And Frank, right now, here comes the Budweiser as it comes for lap number 2, after a 131 lap number 1. Here's the second lap, and its time is 121, cutting down 10 miles per hour. And Frank, here he comes.
Yeah, he is, and he's just on a Sunday stroll right now, but that's the way it looked at one time for Pierce just before his accident happened. So hopefully for the Budweiser camp, he can keep it going right now. He is not being pushed by Larry Lauterbach in the Winston Eagle, who is back about 6, 7 rooster tails.
And I think Tom is taking something off the gas pedal too, as there isn't as much rooster tail out there, and I don't think he's pushing it near as hard.
The third place boat just went by the official starting area, the Pietros, at a 1:01 time. Here comes the Miss Tri-Cities after a lap of 92. The Miss Tri-Cities in its second lap hits 92 again, 92 miles per hour. And in the upper turn, we have a boat that's almost dead in the water.
The Rock.
The Rock is dead in the water. Okay, the Rock is dead in the water, and the Budweiser is still leading. The Budweiser comes around lap 3 from the upper turn. Miss Rock is dead in the water in the west turn. And is there nothing coming out of the stack or anything? Here comes the Budweiser with a 115 mile an hour time. There's no damage, no flip or anything. It just went dead in the water. Frank.
And the Budweiser with half a straightaway lead now over Larry Lauterbach in the Winston Eagle, and they're just setting it up for the final to let it all out.
Yep, Budweiser around through the turn, up on the backstretch. A day at the office for Tommy Deeth, as this thing has run flawlessly. Hey, and listen, there's nothing wrong with the Winston Eagle either. He just has lost a half, as you said, a half straightaway on the Bud. Larry Lauterbach driving a beautiful way. And this has got terrific equipment to compete against.
The Miss Tri-Cities is still in the fourth place position as the Budweiser comes around for lap number 4. It could conceivably lap the Bud, as in third place is the Pietros. So we have 4 of the 6 boats. One did not get off the dock, and another one went dead in the water, and that being Miss Rock went dead. Did not finish 2 different heats now this afternoon. Here comes the Budweiser, lap number 4. The time 1:14.704, and it's riding very smoothly as it's cut way down in speed, Frank.
Yeah, and he's probably still going to lap the Miss Tri-Cities, but Snyder's, who's into the turn number 1, looks like he could run all day out there at that speed. And now Budweiser comes around turn 1, and he'll go inside of him, it looks like.
Snyder takes that turn way wider than Tom Deeth does, and I don't think he is really as hot on the points as Deeth is. And yes, I think you're right. I believe Budweiser will lap Miss Tri-Cities before the fifth lap is completed. They are on it right now.
And up the back chute they go with the Budweiser just about now. He's pulling right even. He's now past the Miss Tri-Cities, the fourth place boat. So the Budweiser will be getting the checkered flag. Here comes the Miss Pietros right by the official start area. On the inside of the buoy, here comes Tom Deeth in the Budweiser. Beautiful around that turn. It's right smooth on the water. It's doing a great job. Here comes the Budweiser by the official start area, and on the fifth lap, a time of 112.852 miles per hour. And so the Budweiser had 131, 121, 115, 114, and 112. Frank?
Yeah, and he'll be coming in. We'll get a chance to talk with Tom Deeth. That'll, of course, give the Budweiser 800 points. Winston Eagle, as has come across now in the second place, Al will have 600 points. And Miss Tri-Cities, Pietros, with 2 1/4 would have 5 1/4. And the Tri-Cities, if it finished, would have 394.
But Pietros is dead in the water in the lower turn.
Holy cow.
He's fried an engine. All kinds of smoke coming out of that engine compartment.
So the Tri-Cities would be getting in at a third place finish for 225 points.
And that would give them 450.
Yes.
That's big.
Okay, here comes the Miss Tri-Cities. It'll come in for its fifth lap in the checkered flag. So in lap number 4, we have the Pietro's Pizza did not finish in lap number 4. And the big hand goes up for the Miss Tri-Cities as it's coming around the upper turn, and the Miss Tri-Cities will come in third with 225 points. So 2 third-place finishes for the Miss Tri-Cities, 225. Here it comes. Listen to the fans. And the Budweiser is right behind it after completing its lap. So Miss Tri-Cities has a third-place finish, 2 of them today for the Miss Tri-Cities, so it'll have 450 points total and 800 points for the Budweiser. 450 points for Miss Tri-Cities. Ron Snyder doing a credible job. Here comes the Winston Eagle after an extra lap. So we had 2 of the boats did not finish this race. In the 4th lap, Pietro's did not finish, Pietro's Pizza. And the Miss U.S. Northwest, did not even get a start with Jack Schaefer from the dock. The Miss Rock went dead, and so we have only 3 boats that finished out of the 6, and 450 points now total for the Miss Tri-Cities.
Dean, Steve David is on the deck of the boat, and he just opened the cockpit, and smoke.
We have 1, 2, 3 boats with the other one up there in the upper turn. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens as we get ready for the start of this race. The U.S. Cellular is out of it. The Cooper's Express, Oh Boy Alberto, the Mazda, and the Jackpot Food Mart. There's 3 of them. With way in the back is the Jackpot Food Mart. On the inside, it's Cooper's Express. Oh Boy Alberto in the middle. And on the outside is Miss Madison, Frank.
And the Madison Mazda boat on the outside. He's got Alberto in front of him on the inside. And on the extreme inside, Evans is doing a heck of a job. He goes into turn 1 first. But here comes Alberto and George Woods on the outside of the apex.
And coming out first is the Cooper's Express, and he's being chased by George Woods, and Woods is going to take him on the backstretch. Woods has just got more power up that backstretch than anybody else, with the exception of Miss Mazda. And Mike Hansen is on the outside, so he's got a little bit of room to make up on Woods. Dean, they're coming up to you.
And up the back chute they go. They're heading to the upper turn, and as they head to that west end, still on the outside is the Alberto. On the inside, we have the Madison and the Cooper's Express. So as they go around, still in that same order, it's a good race, folks. Cooper's Express on the inside, and Oh Boy Alberto in the middle. On the outside is the Mazda. Here they go with a time of 117, 114, and 112, Frank.
And this is a piston show to take you back to the old days. And still Mitch Evans is driving his rear end off right now. Alberto has more horses on the outside, but Mitch is just painting the buoys as they go into the apex.
Mitch has got the inside position, and he is taking advantage of it. But again,
somebody went dead, got a bunch of wash, and just about went dead. I think it's Cooper's Express.
He isn't dead, but he's sure cut down.
Okay, and up the backstretch they go. Up the backstretch is Old Boy Oberto along with the Madison. The Madison neck and neck still on the outside. Cooper's Express took a lot of water there. Mitch Evan in that turn. Here comes the fourth place boat, the Jackpot Food Mart, just going across now for a time, very slow time of 68 miles per hour. They're on the upper turn and hugging the buoy is still the Oberto on the inside. The Oberto on the outside is the Madison. Here they come for lap number 2. The Oberto with a time of 1:14, and the Madison, or rather the Mazda, with 1:13. And in third place, still the Cooper's Express, having cut down some Mitch Evans with a 95. Frank.
Well, Oberto, he's got the older boat, but he's also got the inside, and he's got about 3 boat lengths. It's a great race.
And he comes out charging up the backstretch. Here comes Wholesome Miss Mazda with Mike Hansen chasing him. Nobody is giving any quarter at all in this race as they burn the backstretch around the Columbia.
Up the back chute they go. We can just see the rooster tail of the Madison on the outside, because on the inside is the Old Boy Oberto. George Woods Jr. has a third place finish already today in Heat 1A. And on the outside, somebody just went great on that inside. Was that the Madison, or the Old Boy Oberto is still on the inside, and on the outside is still the Miss Mazda and Mike Hansen. Here they come for lap number 3. As the Old Boy Oberto, still a small lead, a very small lead for the Old Boy Oberto, about 5 boat lengths. Frank, they each had a 1:15 time.
And it's still a wall of water as they come down to turn 1. It's still George Woods hugging the buoys. Madison, Mazda with all the horses and the better boat on the outside, and here they come neck for neck.
You can't get better deck-to-deck racing anywhere in the world. Here's Old Boy Oberto, here's Miss Mazda, and there's not, as Bernie Little would say, a snap of a finger between them as again they tour the backstretch.
Up the back chute, Don. Mazda is now in the lead, and on the inside is still Old Boy Oberto, but Mazda up the back chute has poured on the steam, and he's going to have to swing wide, and I think as they go into that west turn and coming out of it, maybe it'll be neck and neck because of the lead of Mazda right now over Old Boy Oberto. He's bouncing around his Old Boy Oberto, but he's hugging the buoys on the inside. In the west turn they come out, cutting in a little bit closer now is the Mazda. He has the lead. Lap number 4, it's now the Mazda. Here's the times, Frank, for the Mazda in lap number 4, 1:22, and for Oberto, 1:14.
Now let's see if Hansen tries to take the inside lane or pinch him down. He's definitely got the lead now. It's better than the rooster tail and a half as they head to turn 1. And here they come, Don. Here comes Mazda.
Mazda out of the turn is just burning the course. Mike Hansen is not taking his foot out of it at all. He's driving just like Old Boy Oberto was still in his back pocket, but Oberto was eased off and is, as you said, a couple of rooster tails behind now. And if Mazda wants it, he can have that inside lane.
Okay, the Cooper's Express has now taken 3rd spot, and in 4th spot is Jackpot Lumber. Here they come. Frank, down to you for the Cooper's Express. Not much of a race there.
Right, well, Cooper's, he shut down, right, and then he restarted, and he had to repass Jackpot. Was that the story there?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, here we come for the checkered flag. Here comes Miss Madison, that raced on the Eastern Circuit and is now the Mazda. Here comes U6, Mike Hansen. He gets the checkered flag with a time of 1:21.477 miles per hour. Frank, looked great.
Oh, yeah. When's the last time they had 800 points heading into the final? This is great for this team.
Okay, the Old Boy Oberto, 105.186 miles per hour. And so the Old Boy Oberto takes a 2nd place finish and a 3rd place finish earlier, so it's got a 2nd now, and it has 525 points, and it'll be in the finals this afternoon, as will, of course, the Mazda, and 400 points and another 400 points, 800 total. We have 2 boats with 800 points total, and that is the Mazda and the Budweiser. And next, the Winston Eagle with 600, and then 5 1/4 for Old Boy Oberto. Alberto. Here comes the third place finisher, Cooper's Express, for 225 points. A third place finish, 225 points for Cooper's Express in a time of 97.035 miles per hour. And the fourth place boat will be coming in right now, Jackpot Food Mart, and will not be in any race this afternoon, depending on points, but 169 because of an earlier did not finish. So 169 for the Jackpot Food Mart, and a time of 79 is on the one lap at 97. It still has one lap to go as Jackpot Food Mart to make its fourth place finish. So Mitch Evans has 225 points along with its one.
We'll take a walk in this one, but to be honest with you, Jim, the way it's gone so far, I wouldn't want to predict anyone. Holset Miss Madison, for one, running very good. Now under the title Holset Miss Mazda.
Thank you. The Miss Budweiser, Miss Holset Miss Mazda, Oh Boy Alberto, Miss Tri-Cities, Cooper's Express, Pietro's Pizza are your boats. The Jackpot Food Mart is the alternate should any one of these boats not be running at the 1 minute gun, but they all are running right now, and we're down to about 40 seconds to the start of the race. They're coming up the back chute here very slowly. It's the Miss Budweiser in lane 1, and they're way early. They cannot jump this clock. They've got 30 seconds right now, and they're at the corner number 3 already. They'll have to come around slowly. It looks like it's going to be lane 1 for Miss Budweiser, lane 2 for Cooper's Express, lane 3 for the whole set Miss Mazda, lane 4 on the outside is going to be Oh Boy Alberto, followed by Miss Pietro's Pizza and the Miss Tri-Cities way on the outside. Here they come with 5 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It'll be Oh Boy Alberto getting across the line first, followed by the Cooper's Express, and Miss Budweiser now goes on the inside and goes even with the pack as they come down toward you, Dick, in corner number 1.
Miss Budweiser riding beautifully and taking over the lead now. It has been Cooper's Express riding high out of the water in second place on the outside. Oh Boy Alberto trying to close him from the back. Miss Budweiser comes out of the turn in the lead. Tommy Deeth doing a fine job taking it right off the gun. Her rooster tail was down until the gun fired. He popped the rooster tail out of there, took the lead. Right now it's Miss Budweiser heading down the backstretch to number 2 and turn number 3.
It's followed by Cooper's Express in second. It's Oh Boy Alberto in third, and on the inside in fourth, and moving up is the Holset Miss Mazda as we're at the apexes of corners number 3 and 4. Ron Snyder is not in the race. He is dead in the water in the Miss Tri-Cities as our leader comes down the complete lap number 1. It's going to be Miss Budweiser with about a 9-boat length lead over the field as it completes lap number 1. Average speed 122.804, and down to you, Dick.
He is flying that hull beautifully across the water. He's aware that there's holes in the water. He's going to have to be very careful. Throws it hard into the turn and rides on that skid fin. Quite a battle going for second place now. Mike Hansen has moved the Holset Miss Mazda up into second place on the inside of Cooper's Express with Mitch Evans aboard. Right now it's going to be the battle coming out of that turn. The inside boat is going to take it. So now in second place it's Mike Hansen, but again he is passed up on the outside. So he drops back to third by about a boat length, and now in second place it is Mitch Evans.
And I'll tell you one thing, the Oh Boy Alberto came the closest that George Woods ever had to blowing over when he came down to complete lap number 1 in that fight for second place. He rode up and he was a good 3 feet off the water, but his boat settled back down. Our leader is still Miss Budweiser, coming off of corner number 4 to complete lap number 2 of 5 with 3 more laps to go. But that battle for second continues on the inside. Holset Miss Madison with a slight lead. Then it is Cooper's Express with Mitch Evans flying a little bit late, and then fourth place is Oh Boy Alberto as they come down towards you.
Still in the lead, Miss Budweiser, the red and white beer wagon, doing a great job out there. Tommy Deeth out of Fairhaven, Michigan, really in control of his craft. Now in second place by about a boat length, getting a little bit loose, but settling it back down. It's Mitch Evans in Cooper's Express on the inside of his rooster tail, trying to pin the pins. It is again the boat driven by Mike Hansen out of Seattle, Washington, who takes over second as he comes out of the turn. And that, of course, is the Holset Miss Mazda. But now Cooper's Express is trying to get him again on the outside, Jim.
And he does. He's got him on the outside. And again, here comes comes Wholesale Miss Mazda moving up on the inside. They're about 10 boat lengths off the leader, but we have one whale of a battle for second place as the Budweiser hangs it on the hook off of corners number 3 and 4 to come down to complete lap number 3. His second lap was 1:14.5. He slowed down about 7 miles an hour with that lead, but the battle for second continues. Mike Hansen on the inside takes the lead from the Coopers Express, and this is the way it is. It'll be Miss Budweiser, second place Wholesale Miss Madison, but again, here comes Coopers Express, takes over second, and Mazda drops back to third. Fourth is Oh Boy Alberto, and fifth is going to be the Pietro's Pizza as they come down towards you.
Miss Budweiser now being closed down by the second place boats, where she's been taking a Sunday afternoon ride with Tommy Deeth at the wheel. The two second place boats have closed her down because they are battling full out. So now on the inside, it's going to be the Hulset Miss Mazda closing it down to about a boat length and a half off of the turbine-powered Miss Budweiser, and they're continuing to close that gap down. It looks like Tommy Deeth is aware he's just doing enough to stay in front of him. It's causing some wake problems, but I'll tell you what, he better keep an eye on that Hulset Miss Mazda. Mike Hansen's going to even him up going into the turn. He's fighting hard.
They're almost side by side now as the Hulset Miss Madison takes out a little water, gets in the inside. It's still Miss Budweiser, but by only a boat length as they complete the lap number 4 coming down.
Miss Mazda's down. Miss Mazda's down in the in turn.
Oh, the Mazda, Hulset Miss Mazda had it on the inside of the Budweiser and lost power. It'll be by the Budweiser by 1 second. As they come down towards you, here's a battle for first.
No question that Mitch Evans has got that boat of his running beautifully. Coopers Express, and he's getting up on the outside of the Miss Budweiser now. Tommy Deeth still in control, but Mitch Evans sees an opportunity to really make a name for himself. He's powering on hard. What happened to the Hulset Miss Mazda was she got in the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser. We've got, it looks like, oh boy, Alberto down on the front straight, so he's out of it now too, which will move, who is that, Trice?
Hey, hold on a second. We're getting the word. It's not official, but we're going to have to watch the flags. A 1-lap penalty to the Budweiser. Your first place boat is going to be Coopers Express.
What a day for Mitch Evans and Ed Cooper, Jr. and Senior, both of them down in the pit area there. When they get the word on that, I'll tell you what, it's going to be something else to see. Here come the flags out, Jimmy.
All right, we'll have to watch as the Pietro's Pizza goes down. He gets one flag to go. It's going to be... I don't see a checker flag for the Budweiser, so he's going to get one more lap. The first place boat is the checker flag is going to be for the Coopers Express is the winner of this race. Would you believe it? Coopers Express with Mitch Evans from Lake Chelan, Washington will take first place in the Tri-Cities Budweiser Cup by virtue of a 1-lap penalty to Tommy Deeth and Miss Budweiser for what we don't know, but the official word came from upstairs.
It'll be interesting to see how that comes out. The only thing I can tell you is that we did have the Miss Mazda boat, the Hulset Miss Mazda, ride into the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser. It's impossible to know who got into what tail or how that exactly happened, but we'll wait to see from the officials if indeed that has anything to do with the call. But Tommy Deeth continues on the course out here after riding a great ride on the course, and now he has to settle for further back in the field. He had the lead, but what a story to be told by the winning boat, Coopers Express, Ed Cooper Sr., Ed Cooper Jr. What a fantastic job.
Miss Budweiser comes in laps, 2 boats on the last lap, and will take over third place. Fourth place will go to Pietro's Pizza, I believe, and we'll have to make sure that that is final. And fifth place overall will go to, we'll have to check. Here comes your winner, Coopers Express. What a thrill it's going to be for this young man. We'll sort it out all for you after this timeout.